carabiners up. So as you can see, they're not equal at the moment, so we can just equal them up. There we are. So we've got them nice and equal. Get all your twists out and bits and pieces, keep everything nice and neat. All of my weight is on here. If one anchor was now to fail, let's just say this one was to fail. That anchor fails, I'm going to limit the shock load. So just by putting that overhand knot in, it limits the shock load. Now, the real big advantage to using this system is it self-centralises. If we're using a static rope going down to work off of, that's fine. But if we need to work at different angles, and as we pull over, this will self-centralise. So whichever I do, when I come over here, I've still got equal tension on this anchor as I have this anchor. Come over here, equal tension on both anchors. So again, this is a really good one for self-centralising and keeping equal tension on the two anchors. So there's another idea for us, and again it will depend on whether we're working straight down or whether we've got to go off to the sides. Okay, let's whip this one down. So lots of different ideas of what we can be doing. Okay, let's go back to this simple barrel knot onto our first anchor. Go around, over, over, you make a cross, and then through. That's the length we want it. Get that back up to there, send all that through. Okay. So I'm going to terminate my rope on this one with a simple barrel knot. I'm then going to come down, and actually I want to have my anchor point somewhere here to set up on. And what I can do then is set up a Alpine Butterfly for the other one. So, Alpine Butterfly, rope, 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 3 strands, come under, take the middle one, send it through, and there is my Alpine Butterfly. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do. There's different ways of doing an Alpine Butterfly, so what we could do is get our rope, twist it again, go through there, and there's my Alpine Butterfly. So exactly the same. We look at it from both sides. It's nice and neat. Okay, so I'm going to do an Alpine Butterfly coming up to here. So if I want my point about here, doesn't matter which one I do. So make a loop, twist it once, twist it twice. We've got that little hole there. I know it's going to be roughly about there, so I come around and through. There's my Alpine Butterfly. Clip that in. Do that up. Not quite centralised there, so we need to have some more length. So that's fine, we can adjust it. A little bit more. Probably about right. That's going to come straight down. Let's tidy all this up now. It's still an Alpine Butterfly, we can see that. So there, if that was my load, equally shared load, I'm working off of this one. I then might do a figure of 8 in there. So this is going to be my anchor point down here. But all I've done is centralise that up. So another one, just the Alpine Butterfly that we've kind of chucked in there as well. Let's think about bringing in that third one as well. Well, first thing I'm going to do is make this into a big loop. This is actually probably too long for what I actually need it for. Let me just get a shorter piece of rope to make a big loop. Oof. Okay, got a length of rope here, and what I want to do is make it into a loop. So I need to do a double fisherman's bend. So what I'm going to do is that barrel knot on each end of the rope. So where I've got the rope, overlap the two bits of rope. Here I'm going to do my first barrel knot. So that goes to there. And I pull that through, so we said we wanted about a hand's width. So it's just a barrel knot just on that rope. If I flip it around, I'm going to do exactly the same with this end of the rope on here. Take that through. There's my barrel knot. Okay, so all I've got there is my two barrel knots that I've done. And now I'm just going to pull them together. And there it locks. So now I've got a massive loop of rope. So that's a double fisherman's bend just to make a loop of rope. Again, tidy everything up, keep everything nice and neat as we're kind of working. All I'm going to do now is clip the loop in to each the anchors. So I've got a third anchor this time. So we've got 3 anchors. Take this down, so it's all nice and equally spread. I want that offset, so I'm just going to pull that through and there you go, so the knot's offset. So all I've done is got 3 equal anchors by pulling it down. So if we just do that again, have a look, I've clipped onto all 3 at the top there, pulled that down just to do that. Make sure my carabiners are done up. And then from there, I'm just going to get all of this and tie a simple overhang knot. In fact, this is probably not enough length. Okay, so we'll redo this one. So this is quite a long loop. What's it? Probably about 7 foot, so 14 foot of rope, something like that. And this is only going to be big enough for 2 anchors. So we clip it in, do up. So all I've got is my big loop hanging off of there. I'm just going to take the centre point and bring it down to meet. To where that's kind of met down there, and then from here just do a simple overhang knot. I could put in a figure of 8, doesn't really matter, it's nice and equal, got equal tension on both of them, but what I've done now is I've created 2 loops. So I could have 2 points here coming off, so I could have my ID on one, and I could have my safety on the other, or I could set up 2 IDs, one for the white rope, the working rope, one for the red rope, or I could anchor the red rope in here as a static rope and then leave this as a working rope so I can belay them off, or I can use this to set up a haul. So there's just a very simple, using a big loop of rope and joining it together, but again, because it's joined, if one anchor fails, it will all go on to the other anchor. So we've just got 50-50 split, and we've backed up everything we're doing. Okay. So we like that. We like to have 2 loops. It gives us more advantage when working. So this is a much longer rope now. Again, I'm just going to do a simple double fisherman's bend in the end of this. So get one end, going to do my barrel knot. Get my barrel knot there, turn it around, cross it over, through. There's my barrel knot. So massive length of rope here. In. So all I've done is clipped into all 3 points there. I'm now going to bring these 2 down. I don't want that knot to get affected. So we're going to take it from this side and this side. Bring them down. You probably can't see this. Take that out a little bit so you can see. So that's all we've got there. go, you can see the rope. So just to go through that again, like the two outside ones, pull it down. So all I've done is one rope straight through, bring these down, so it all joins. At this point here, I can now do an overhand knot, or I could do a figure of 8. Again, just make sure everything's nice and neat that you've got here. So pull all the little strands through. If you've got any loose on the bits, make sure everything gets pulled through. And if I wanted to have unequal loops, I can do that. So I can work out, where's that one? I want that one to be nice and short. So I can thread that one through. This is just going to feed all the way through, but it unequals what I'm kind of trying to achieve, because this one doesn't self-centralise. Okay, so I could work it and bring it all back so I've got different length loops, but what's probably the easiest to do, undo that, get everything nice and equal again, all nice and equal. I want it to be in the middle, I want it to be here. Again, I could just do an overhand knot or a figure of 8, doesn't really matter, but by doing it and then dressing it so that all my rope lies neatly, I've now got 3 equal loops on here. So with the loops, let's just get these untangled. So with my first loop, I could have that for my ID. So my ID, I could then run my white rope through there. So again, the working end. Make sure you find the middle of the rope, the belaying end. What I might want to do is a simple barrel knot in the end of that. Oh, no, sorry, not on a bite, my fault. Just a simple barrel knot. More length. What am I doing? Right, a bit more length. So I might just want to do a simple barrel knot in the end of the rope. So if anything was to happen, it wouldn't go through the device. But again, you would want to find the middle of the rope, lock it off, and that's good to go. So that one is sat there with the ID, middle of the rope, and now you've got your static line right the way down there. So I know it's a long way kind of down. Just do what I mean. Right away down here. I've then got 2 more loops. So this one, I could set up another ID and I could have my red rope off of it, and we could set that up as a static rope, just with the ASAP on there. So I may decide that I have a simple overhand knot, figure of 8, and I'm going to clip that in to there. So I've got my working rope, I've got my safety rope, and then I've still got one spare one. So again, I could use that for my safety. I might want to put my safety on there, but I might want to put my safety in one of these ones up here as well. So I've got a choice. So I could have my safety up there. I'm nice and safe. I could then use this one to set up a haul. So actually, I've got an independent loop. So there's my working rope where my colleague is hanging off. This is our safety rope where they've got their ASAC attached to, and then this one we're going to set up a haul onto it so that I can pull any equipment up and down and then not worry about their rope, so I'm not interfering. So I just got the 3 separate loops because we've got the 3 anchors and it is equally spread. So the weight is on here. Again, we could do this a number of different configurations, but this is just another way we can look at it. So yeah, you need a fair bit of rope to achieve that. So it's a big old length of rope, but this is nice to do. I can adjust it where I want it, but it's all from that middle point. And again, if I wanted to change my loops at this stage, if I change the loop, so I want a big loop here and a short loop there. So let's get that, make that a lot shorter. And this is where I want it to be. It's probably to be a little bit more. Okay, so I want different length loops on purpose. Let's just. Yeah, so different length loops on purpose, and then just tie my overhang knot in that. Let's get everything tidy. Got a lot of strands. I've now got a nice central one with 3 different length loops. Yeah. So again, you know, we can work it. Just need to tidy everything up as you're going along. Not happy with them twists that we've got there, so we would just work all that out. But yeah, it's all reliant on the anchors you've got, but we've got an equal spread of load. If the weight is all on there, and let's just say something happens. That anchor fails, we're still on 2 equal anchors. So that's just it. Lots and lots we can kind of think about. Okay, I think we're about there. Okay, so we've done quite a lot on different anchors. There's loads there for you to kind of consider. Don't forget, these are here for you for training. We haven't climbed at all. I have put my harness and my gear on, especially my helmet, but you don't really need it. The last thing we're going to have a look at is just setting up a haul, a very simple haul system that we can use. So let's get this together. The first thing we're going to need is an anchor, so I'm just going to use that anchor at the top there. We're going to need a few different bits of equipment to set this up. Because we're going to do a 4-to-1 haul, we are going to need 2 double pulleys. Okay, so the first thing I can do is I can clip my first kind of pulley into the system, so it can be set up there. So that's going to be at the top. This one will be at the top. This one's going to be at the bottom of the system. But what I'm going to do is set it up on the ground, and then we're going to hook it up. So let's come down here and have a look. that's going to be the top. That's going to be the bottom of it. Can't see that there. Let's just come back a bit. So that's going to be the top, that's going to be the bottom, a couple more bits of equipment. So okay. Just going to use this rope here to set it up. So first thing, all our knots. This rope. So on here, I'm just going to do a barrel knot. I'm just going to go through, over, over, over. There's my simple barrel knot, slide that through. So my rope terminates at this, which is going to be the top pulley. I'm then going to bring the rope down. It's going to go through the bottom. It goes through the bottom one there, comes back. There's a knot in it. Come through bottom one there. So all I've done is I've anchored the rope, it's gone around the bottom, it's now going to come around the top one. And around the top one. So there is my simple 4-to-1 mechanical advantage on there. Because it's now done, I'm going to put that carabiner there, so that's at the bottom, carabiner here, at the top, and jobs are good. So you may ask, why have I got this in the system? Well, what I've done is I've put this in, which is a chest crawl, so that we can pop it in there, so it's secured. And then the rope can run through the chest crawl. So it will allow it to go one way, but not the other. So you've got to think about which way up it's going to be.